What's up? What's up? Alvin Hope Johnson with another moment in the life of a dreamer. Man, I'm sitting here with my boy Marquez, Haynes. What's up, baby?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you having me, man. This is dope. It's a dope setup.
Thank you, man. These guys smarter than me. They did this. Man, we just gonna hang out and chill for a minute. I appreciate you driving all the way out here from Fort Worth, Funky Town.
I'm coming from Dallas, actually. I've been the stuff we doing in Fort Worth. Okay. So I've been like between. Right, I live in Dallas and then drive to Fort Worth for the projects. Come out here to kick it with you, but you know, a little bit all over.
Bet. So man, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you grow up?
I'm from Irving, South Irving, Texas. Right here, you know, Metroplex kid. Yeah, so it's been a little bit of a journey. Ended up spending a few years in Europe playing ball. And now, coming back, trying to just get the feel of the city. You know, it's growing a lot, so just starting to learn and transition a little bit.
Hold on, man.
I just spent a few
years. Just playing a little ball. Hold on, man. Yeah. What high school?
Irving High. I graduated from Irving High.
Okay.
Went to Nimitz for a couple of years with Irving High.
You go to college?
Yeah, did 2 years at Boston College, and then 2 years here locally at University of Texas at Arlington.
Okay.
Maverick.
Yeah, it was. Yes. So, man, single mom, single dad, mom.
Together, man. And people are always shocked by it. Yeah, still together.
Still together.
Yeah. Mother, they from
35,
Midwest.
40 years.
Shit, how old am I? I'm 35. Yeah, 35. Married 35,
yeah. And
then been together for like close to 40.
Man, that's unusual, but that is. I mean, yeah. But it's great, right?
Yeah. No, it's. I always get that it is unusual, but I mean, it's all I know, and so I mean, they was strong. You know, they was figuring it out. Yeah. Not a lot of money for sure. I mean, it was very very limited resources growing up, but they figured it out. We had what we needed, not what we wanted, but we had just enough. So, but as a kid, you don't know no better, so I wanted more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I went on that path, You
got some siblings?
Yeah, little brother, younger brother, Nick Haynes, and older sister, Erica.
Okay.
I'm smack in the middle, 5 years on both sides.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They say I got a little bit of the syndrome, middle child syndrome.
Were you a little bit spoiled?
I was definitely the strongest personality in the house. I guess you try to carve out your, I need, try to figure it out. But so they probably was right.
Yeah, they probably was right. Mm-hmm. So man, Boston College, that's big boy.
Yeah, it was going up at that time in BC too. We was, top 5 in the country in ball, and great experience. I had never been to the East Coast, none of that. I'm straight from here. Maybe I traveled just a little bit, so that was a culture shock in itself completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So going from there, Boston College, came back to finish at UTA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was just a career decision. Playing ball up there, it was going well as far as being just in the limelight, but I wasn't. I couldn't really be myself how I wanted to.
Okay.
So I had to get somewhere that was more my fit, that can help me set me up for the next phase, which for me was professional basketball. So going to UTA, they just gave me the ball, gave me the green light, and let me do my thing. And so that turned that into a 10-year career professionally.
Quiet as kept, they tell me you used to throw up 30, 40 points.
Back in the day, I could go get a bucket. I ain't gonna lie, I did. And yeah, at that time, so when I went to UTA, I finished the second in the country in scoring in all D1 ball. That's like one of my favorite accomplishments. That was dope. It was a lot of tension associated with that. So I got a few more buckets than I knew I was capable of getting at the time. So it worked out.
No, that's good, man. And then, so how was it going to Europe? Tell me about. You talk about a culture shock going to the East Coast. Yeah. How was that? And then with the limelight associated, right? Yeah.
Well, right now the culture shock is coming back to the States because for real, I spent all my 20s in Europe. Okay. I became a man in Europe.
Okay.
So now I've been back about close to 2 years, really full time. I used to just come home in the summers.
Okay.
Maybe 6-8 weeks possibly. But I spent my 20s in Europe, so initially it was a big time culture shock. I hated it. I ain't like it. I wanted to be back home. You want what what's familiar.
Yeah.
And then quickly, within a year or two, I start really enjoying Europe, man. I start really liking it. And so now coming back home, I'm starting to get adjusted to the life. U.S. life is just faster. You know, it's just boom, boom. Especially then when you jump into business, man, it's results. Every day something new is changing. And so the culture shock been that. Just coming back to this.
Really?
Getting readjusted, because that life over there is totally different.
Wow, okay. I have no reference point for that. I mean, I've only visited.
It would be like, just kind of like, just a slower pace, a different quality of life, or how you measure it. Like here, it's more about, you know, just the grind and, you know, the material success, or seeing what you've done, making it, coming from nothing. It's the land opportunity in America. Okay. Out there, it's more about like, just like your family, and do you have what you need, and, you know, good travel, good food, slower days, not overworking yourself, you know.
Wow, that's so different.
Yeah, it's so different, and it's, you could feel the energy when you get there. It's a slower pace. Like they not in a rush.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's the difference. And when you get accustomed to it, you come back here, you're like, damn, why y'all rushing? Like, you know what I'm saying? But you quickly get back in it. I'm in it now. I'm trying to slow my thing down. I'm like, I'm moving. It's going. It's going. But I'm trying to make sure I make the balance of, you know,
peace.
Working. Yeah, peace. Yeah. But working and achieving your goals. You know?
So, man, after a long 10-year career, coming home, the culture shock was coming home. Did you have any what's the word? You know, you're just giving up your career. You retired, right? So how did that feel? Most men identify who they are with what we do.
Absolutely.
How did that work? How did that affect you?
So really, I actually didn't retire. I was just gonna take a little break. Most people don't know this. My last game, we won the championship. Like it was my second in 3 years, and I was team captain. So I kind of walked away at like the peak. People was like, what are you doing? But I knew psychologically, I felt like I needed just a break. I've been doing it my whole life. And I was like, man, like I just wanted a little time to just regroup, you know, just let my body and my mind rest. And so I was just going to take like half a season off. I had already been kind of turning the page as far as looking to see what my next steps would be in life. Yeah. So I knew it was going to be in business. Okay. I wasn't exactly sure what. I didn't have any formal business knowledge or training at all. Zero. Like I didn't even know what I needed an LLC for at the time. Okay. But I knew if I just take a little bit of time away from hoop, just to start to look at those, just let myself rest and breathe. And, you know, I figured I would quickly start to learn. And man, it just took off. And so I looked up and I was getting offers to play, but I didn't want to go.
Wasn't as exciting?
It was exciting, but I felt like I couldn't leave what I was currently doing. Okay. You know, it just felt right, you know, which is a weird thing to say when you've been doing something your whole life and then you open up a new chapter and the other chapter was going great. I was winning, I was doing well, but I just felt like I couldn't leave. I just had things I wanted to do here, and not just for myself. Ball was more for myself. I was like, man, this business world, I could touch a lot more people, and I could really give some resources to some people that come from where I come from that don't necessarily have the athletic ability or the size or whatever it might be that could go play professional sports. But, you know, some people, they got something going up here, and if they got a couple more resources that could fan that flame. And so I started to kind of see it. Yeah, I started to see it a little differently. Yeah, it started changing, you know, so that's what led me to basically just stop playing ball and stick and go the business route.
Man, that's such a different train of thought. Most people don't think about, well, let me just, you know, do something like that. That's so deep to me. So you're in business. Tell me, what are you doing? Tell me what kind of, where did you land in this big bad world of business?
Well, initially I was like, man, I had a conversation. This guy named Jesse Connor. Real estate guy, man. He's really good at what he does, and a good friend of mine. We were just kind of talking about understanding finances better. A good friend of mine was telling me that this guy is somebody I might want to talk to. And initially, like, the question I had was, all right, just understanding what to do with my money that I had made. And you know, you got a financial advisor and people that tell you, but I wanted to be more knowledgeable so I could invest my own money where I wouldn't need them. Yeah. And so that was the goal I actually set out on. I didn't have a business goal or anything. I was like, I just want to know enough about finances and money to invest my own money without needing him. And from there, quickly as I started to read and learn and YouTubes and talk to people, real estate kept being this common denominator with wealthy people. It was like either you started a business, got wealthy and invested in real estate, or you invested in real estate, got wealthy and got your business. It's always the common denominator. And I'm like, well, if these people, they know so much about it and everybody's interested in it and that's how they moving, I need to at least know a little something about it. So I start turning over the page on that. And where Jesse Connor came in is I had a conversation with him, and he was telling me what he was making in his real estate portfolio between just single family rentals and flips. That's it, not even the other stuff. And it was more passively than I was making in ball, and I was making a good amount of money. And he was making that without it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, so now, man, I'm like, I'm working 10 months out the year and I love ball, but it is work, and I gotta be where they tell me to be. And he's like, yo, I'm getting a check for that, like double that monthly. And I'm like, okay, time for me to at least, I need to know something about it. So from there, I just went to work learning, tapping into my network. Started with like just a little bit of like money lending. I was lending money to flippers for their rehabs. They'd give me like 10% back. And I was like, damn, I just made, quick 4,000 or 5,000 on some like small, like for nothing. I ain't even do nothing for that. I was like, okay, cool. So I started learning and eventually just did my own first flip. I probably made like 15,000 on it. And, it wasn't a ton, but I was like, damn, I just made 15K. And so I started learning. And then from there, it just went to more high-end flips. And then I got my first rental. Then I did my first apartment deal. Then I started my construction company, Legacy Construction Solutions.
Legacy Construction Solutions.
Yeah. If you go on Legacy Wealth Group, legacywealthgrp.com, that's our construction team company. And now just stepping into the development space with
hold on. I mean, you just rolling that stuff out of your mouth.
It all happens so fast, so
Irving, Texas, Boston College, left BC to come back to UTA because you was focused. You knew that's what was going to get you to where you needed to be.
Absolutely.
So you gave up good for the best.
Yeah, and it was
that was good.
It appeared to be crazy to people though.
Yeah.
Because Boston College was one of the best in the country in ball at the time. I don't know how they're doing now, but at the time, we were really, really good. And then I go to this seemingly unknown school, and everybody's like, they thought my career was over. But I had a plan. The same as I had a plan when I left ball into business. People thought I was crazy. They were like, what are you doing? It was like, how could you walk away from that type of money and fame and all that? I was like, I got a plan. I always got a plan. I don't just do stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, that's all it was. I left that situation for to just, go with what felt right opposed to what people told me. And it ended up working. It worked out pretty much how I expected.
So with that thought frame or that mindset, somebody listening to us right now live on Instagram with 5 cameras, 6 cameras, I don't know what we got in here. What would you tell the audience? Man, so many people are struggling with, I don't know what to do. I don't know, should I help us out? I mean, you made some real life-changing decisions, right?
Yeah.
And big ones.
Absolutely. Well,
what would you tell the 25-year-old dude that's stuck?
Yeah. Well, you gotta base the decisions on what is important to you, not what's important to everybody else. And sometimes that's difficult because people you care about have opinions that matter to you. But, your voice has to be the loudest. And sometimes if you don't know how to find that voice, you gotta start subtracting things. A lot of times we don't understand the voice because we got too many distractions, too many people, too many projects, too many things. So
radio, TV, phone,
everything, Instagram, all these different things. And what I decided was most important to me at the time, even at the expense of basketball, was freedom. And I was like, okay, what does that look like, right?
That's like Josh Childress. He said the same thing.
Exactly. I wanted my time to be my time, and I love ball, but they're like, okay, be at the gym at this time, be here. And I'm like, I love it, but I'd rather have my time be my time. And there are financial resources that come with that also.
Yeah.
Freedom is it's multifaceted. So I would say figure out what's important to you and start moving based upon that, and not what anyone is thinking or what they're going to say about it, because everyone is going to question the plan, but the finished result nobody could question. No one could question those decisions at this point. So yeah,
starts with the decision. figuring it out, and then decide.
And don't think twice. Once you decide, boom. You don't think about none of that. I'm gone. We already moving.
Tell me about your work ethic, because it's got to be crazy. I mean, you done played ball at the highest level.
Yeah. I definitely
your level of commitment, right?
Yeah, that's you got to commit to it. Nothing good is gonna come. You can't be half in, half out. You have to decide this is what I'm doing. And once I decided, the first commitment I ever made was to basketball. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I just knew I was gonna do it. It was definitely.
Were you real young?
Very young. I don't even say I committed to it at that age, but I loved it when I was very young. I committed probably I'd say 8th, 9th grade is where I actually committed, where I knew that this is where my life is going and I'm going to make it happen regardless of anything. So that commitment, I just take it. And from a work perspective, once you're actually committed, the work is actually kind of easy. It's not, I mean, you have your rough days. You have the days where you like, damn, do I want to do this? But if you really committed, it could be a mountain or a speed bump, just depending on how committed you are. You know,
it's gonna feel the same. Man.
Exactly. That's all it is. So that would be probably where I say the work ethic comes. And now it's just habit. Okay. Now if I'm not doing it, I feel weird.
Because you're so used to.
I've made it my normal. You know, I've talked to people about that. I've done just light consulting with, entry level or intermediate level investors or business people or people that are just trying to have life success in general. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I tell them. I was like, man, just get around people to make those things your normal. The normal of a billionaire is different than the normal of somebody that's just doing something else. So if you want that to be your normal, you must research it and find out what's normal to them. That work ethic for me is normal now. So if I'm not actually applying myself daily, I feel strange.
I've never heard that. And I wonder why. When I sit here in my office and my phone's not going off the hook, or I don't have 500 emails flying in, why do I feel weird? Because that was part of the norm. Yeah. And so we're transitioning our business away from the property management into full development. And so my phone doesn't ring near as much. And I'm sitting here going, damn, I got time for a podcast.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing. And not to be so stubborn with your normal, but to say obviously you want to keep building, but then you reach that level where it's okay, I want my time and I want to be able to step away from it, and you can't feel weird about it, or you will never be able to step away and enjoy the fruits of those labors because you put in a lot of work. And so at some point, what you trying to say, man? You're looking at my gray hair. I'm talking about putting in a lot of work. I heard about your resume, your pedigree. I'm telling you, I've heard, and so you don't even get to the level of what you're doing without just I've seen work from a lot of people. I study people's work ethics and see where I can be better, and you don't even get to this without having something ticking inside of you that's a little bit different, in the grades too, totally.
Yeah, that little inside, little bit different, boy. That's the driver, right? And
could you talk to me about that? I would be interested. I know Beaumont. I know a little bit about Beaumont. It's not a ton going on out there.
Nothing going on out there.
Exactly. So even coming from, where does that work ethic and that drive come from? And what sparked you? How'd you get on that road? Just tell me. I want to know a little bit more about your story.
Well, mine's a little different. I was just talking to Chris, and mine came from trauma.
Got you.
Self-imposed trauma. Well, my first traumatic thing happened at 9. I was molested by a family friend. Well, he wasn't my friend. Somebody else fucking friend. But he wasn't my friend. I don't know. Anyway, let's get past that. And then my dad left me. So he broke up with my mom, but he left me when I was 11. That was pretty traumatic because he was my hero.
Absolutely.
And then I got married at 17. So I had a history of quitting things.
Got you.
Played baseball. I got hit in the eye. I quit, and they let me quit.
Yeah.
I was teaching myself to play the piano, and then they made me go take piano lessons. So I didn't want to be taught because I wanted to teach myself. So I quit, and so all these things, I quit.
Yeah.
Then I saw my dad quit his marriage and quit me. So that was par for the course for me. But when my son was 3 years old, I had already been a millionaire. We had a lot of money in the bank. from just knocking on doors, painting houses, and then I got a job doing a hotel. And on his 3rd birthday, man, we couldn't even buy him a Hot Wheel car. We opened up the cabinet. There was literally no food except a bowl. I think we ate a bowl of cereal or oatmeal or something that morning. And we was getting put out of our house that day. The lights was getting cut off. I mean, it had gone from humble beginnings, single parent, school teacher, knowing all the right things to do, doing none of them.
Yeah.
And to being so traumatized as a kid when my dad left that when my girlfriend at 17 told me she was leaving me to go to college, I freaked out. You can't leave me too.
Absolutely.
So I talked her into marrying me, and probably today, well, back then I would say I fucked up her life too, because, you know, but today she's all right. And
she's all right now.
Yeah, she's all right.
What it ends well.
We real good friends, and that's, you know, that's my son's mom. But on his 3rd birthday, man, I thought it was best that, you know, a little life insurance might work, and I was just gonna take myself out.
Man.
So I put a 38 to my head and pulled the trigger a couple of times, and the gun didn't go off. And then I took a bottle of nitroglycerin pills. And I said, well, shit, if one will blow up and make somebody's heart start pumping, about 300 of these ought to really just take me like where I want to go. Well, I said a prayer and said, God, man, if you got a purpose for me, then please forgive what I've done. If you don't, please have mercy on me, because I heard it's a little hot down there.
Man.
Sad part, man, I woke up 10 days later in intensive care, and the first thought I had was, man, you're a loser. You couldn't even kill yourself. So I can't quit.
Absolutely.
That you asked me what's the drive? I can't quit. I done already tried. I could probably get on this building, jump off, break 4 legs, 3 ribs, and my neck and live.
Because you're here for a reason.
So I ain't doing that shit no more, because that would hurt. But that's it. I just know that God left me here for a reason. I feel like part of that purpose was I had an opportunity to talk to Chris today. Great friend of yours, and you know I've known him just today, just met him. But that's part of my purpose. Man,
that divine timing. That's crazy. And you talk about walking in your purpose. Man, that's awesome. And I mean, no clue, but they always say it. They say like the greatest suffering is the greatest awakening. You know, it's like the more, and I mean, that's I see it in my life. Definitely those, and if you use it as
those
such,
dark periods.
Yeah, and if you use it as such, like use it, you know, you turn those times into amazing thing. Wow. Right. Yeah.
So I remember. It took about 6 months, man. I was fucked. You hear me? From those nitroglycerin pills. I don't know, that shit got in my system, and it took literally. They put me in MHMRA for a minute, because they like, man, okay, he tried to kill himself. Okay, people do that. Well, let's have him checked out. Now this boy, he needs some help.
Yeah.
They made me awarded the state. Once that happens, you almost never get out. And when they told me, hey, congratulations, you're awarded the state. And I'm like, nah, man, shit, no. Yeah. What I got to do to get out of here? So then I had to be good. Everybody in there trying to act good.
Yeah, I'm straight. Everything. Yeah.
How I made a difference to the people that let me see the judge, I don't know. But the judge looked at me and said, I'm going to give you a shot. That's the second judge. I was 15 and 24. 2 judges say, I'm going to give you a shot. So I done had 2 judicial system opportunities, a deathbed experience. Damn, I might ought to go be great.
Yeah.
Because I really shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So I tell you, part of my passion today is growing our organization. I say 20,000 units in 5 years. Really, the goal is 100,000 units before I die. It's not about the units. It's not about the money. But in creating a path to get to those units, we're going to buy our own manufacturing company. We're going to give jobs. We're going to go to the penal systems and take nonviolent offenders that can't get jobs and turn them into contractors to build our apartments, to come and be HVAC contractors in our apartments. So my deal is not about the 100,000 units, the 20,000 units, the $500 million I need to get this thing started. It's about the impact we're going to make along the way.
Absolutely.
So I got a long way to go, short time to get there, and we need a whole bunch of money. So if you know somebody with $500 million, $200 million, $100 million, have them hit me, because we got a real plan, and we're going to make them, they already rich. So giving me $500 million ain't nothing. We're just going to triple it for them.
Man. Yeah. No, that's, I mean, that why, I mean, is strong. And our company, Legacy Wealth, is, you know, we focus on affordable housing for that exact reason. And not only just that, as we get into this development space, you know, walking in this path that you've blazed, you know, our model right now is just coming in and identifying community needs, using our relationships in the cities that we come from. You know, me being from Irving, my partner Jeremy Smith being from Stop 6 in Fort Worth, using those ties we have to the community to identify needs and help just give people the resources that they need. Sometimes it's not housing units. Sometimes that is, you know, a catalyst for, you know, some commercial space to get some healthy food. Yeah, just, you know, these areas that people they have to leave where they're at to get the resources they need. And that's what happened to me. I couldn't get what I needed where I was from. I had to go somewhere else to get it. You know, I couldn't make it out of there. You know, I had to drive, but, you know, it was just survival in that space.
You said something that makes me want to retract something I said yesterday to a guy. You said, from where I came from, there was nothing there, so we had to leave to go do that. And I wondered why so many people want to go back to where they came from. And I was like, man, forget where you came from. That's in the past, man. You need to be looking forward. But the reason I see now from what you just said is because you came out of that. Maybe you came out of it to be the one to go back.
I've always
never
felt like
thought
that.
about it like that.
This shit is cyclical, man. Like, I think we look at life like this line, and there's this finish line. This shit, it all comes full circle always. It always, there's no different than you just said. You know, you're best friends with the woman you married at 17. Well, she's got a glimpse into you that other people don't have. So it's also like a hell of a mirror at times too. And going back to that place that I'm from, that shit is a hell of a mirror. And I could have just rode off into the sunset with my basketball money, but I wouldn't. I just didn't. It just didn't feel right. I just got more gifts to give, man, honestly. Yeah. And I know who I need to give it to at this point in this moment of my life. And it's, you know,
that's that point.
Yeah,
I like that.
I didn't. Shit, when I was coming up, I didn't. If I wanted to ask a business question, a financial question, there's nobody to ask. Nobody. My parents couldn't answer that. They couldn't even tell me who to go talk to. And so right now, I feel like, you know, even just on a small consulting level, if a kid or a grown-up, anybody was like, yo, I have a question about real estate, or I have a question about finance, or I have a question about just life success. Like, how did you, if they just open their mouth, I'm hoping that somebody that knows them could say, yo, I got somebody you should talk to. You know, you should go talk to Marquez. He could help you with that, you know. And I feel like if I can't help, I know somebody that can. 100%. I could point you in the right direction. So I feel like until I build something a little more sustainable, and I'm early in this, man. I'm so young in this business game.
2 years in it?
Yeah, but I am
but you're so damn smart.
I'm a vet in the game of success, though. Yeah. And I'll walk in that. I will walk in that. And so it's like, as I build this thing, I want to build something that's a little more sustainable, that when I walk away and I could just take my time and energy all the way back, that people will have something at least that look like me and came from where I came from, that they at least got a resource that could help them get out of their situation or whatever trauma they might be experiencing, if that's the catalyst. And you know, it's always a journey of self, but if you got like a little something to apply yourself to, like fully, you can, I always feel like everything will work out just fine if you have something you can apply yourself to. You'll figure out, you'll go on that journey, you'll learn everything you need to learn along the way.
I agree with that. Yeah. I think that may be part of, I don't know if that's part of the problem or if that's what I'm trying to say, but so many people get caught up in the shiny eye drip syndrome, so I'm going to run over here and see if I can make that work. Oh, shit, that didn't work. Let me run over here and see if I can make that work.
Man.
Ain't none of that shit going to work.
Ain't nothing going to work. Yeah, it ain't going to work till you commit. And I was telling someone that, you know, they asked me about ball, and I was saying, you know, they used to always tell me the odds of making it in ball. And as I got older, I understand why the odds aren't good. It's because people quit when it get tough. That's why the odds aren't good. It's not like that they had I had something they didn't have or some type of, it was like the odds aren't good because people quit and go do something else when shit get weird, you know? So for me, it's like, instead of seeing like an obstacle and I go do something else, I just found a workaround.
Yeah.
You know, and that's no different in business. You know,
Right.
they tell you what you can and can't do. They, you know, you can't stop playing ball, or, you know, no, that you can't do that. Because in here, what it's like, bro, it's like, I'm going to figure it out regardless. Either I'm going to get the information and the knowledge from somewhere, or tap into my resources, my connections. Basketball was a nice vehicle to expose me to some relationships.
Yeah.
So I could find what I need. It's just, am I going to go out there and figure this shit out?
Man, I love that. Man, this is dope, man. I could talk to you all day.
No, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I plan to have many more conversations with you too. That's for sure.
You got anything else you want to tell our audience?
Yeah, no, I mean, right now, definitely if you're looking to get a home built or a home remodeled, legacywealthgrp.com is definitely a great place to go for that. I'm slowly rolling out personal services on the consulting side as far as that goes for beginning and intermediate level real estate investors.
LegacyWealthGRP.com?
Correct. My Instagram is Haynes _0. And yeah, I mean, you can find me. I'm, like I said, we're rolling these things out, packaging it up for people that need these resources. Yeah, or if you just need advice or help, hit me. I mean, I'm open. I like to give my energy and time to people that are really investing in themselves.
Yeah, that's important.
Absolutely.
Man, I appreciate the time today, brother. This has been real good.
Man,
and
you,
we are
man.
going to have
Thank
a whole
you.
bunch more of these.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, guys, dream on, dreamer. I ain't got nothing to say. Marquez, Haynes hanging out with us. Appreciate y'all. Later.